to Lulicat Tarot. Today's reading is Where is Your Soulmate? Choose from the following vibes. Hi and welcome to Lulicat Tarot. I am Leisha, aka Lulicat, and this is my free tarot channel on YouTube. If you chose Homecoming, this is going to be your reading on Where is Your Soulmate? So we're going to start with some oracle cards and then use a bit of tarot, get some channeled messages, and finally we're going to get some advice. So to start with, we're going to have a look at how you will both know each other when you see each other, how you recognize each other. So we're going to have a look at the characteristics that your person is going to have, and then the characteristics that you are going to have that will allow you to recognize each other when you see each other. So starting off with, oh sorry, my vines are just getting out of place. Starting off with your person, what characteristics will the Homecoming Collective's person have? How will they know it's them? Homecoming Collective, their person's characteristics. Okay, we have Pioneer in the upright. This says passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. What else will they know? We have Destroyer in reverse. This says intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. And we have Shapeshifter in reverse. This says projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. So your person might be someone, I'm getting a feeling that you might meet this person at your workplace. If not at your workplace, they're in some kind of creative or innovative field. There's someone who is brilliant. They're going to be very interesting. The things that they say are going to they're kind of going to take you off your feet a little bit. You're not really going to understand where they're coming from. Everything they say to you is going to be a little bit Aquarian in nature. But they're also going to be a little bit kind of incensed with their own genius. You know, they're the kind of person that at this time that you meet them, they're having a little bit of ego takeover, so to speak. They're trying to get something accomplished. They're trying to get something done, either in their field, in some like creative endeavor that they have, and they're almost ruthless in the way that they are stripping things or people away to get what they want, to get something that aligns with their target. So I feel like when you meet this person, you're going to think, yes, this person is like brilliant. They're actually like, they've got very genius kind of ideas, but you're also going to think, okay, but the way that they're coming across is quite brash, abrasive. They seem to have disregard for anyone except for their purpose. And they seem to be pulling things apart just for the point of pulling them apart with no clear rationale or understanding why they are doing what they're doing. So this person could be like, they're just someone who seems to be very ruthless when you meet them. You think they're quite intriguing, interesting, but there also has a kind of dark side to them where you are not really trusting in their vision, because their vision seems quite, it seems very extreme to you. And it also seems to be a self-serving mission, a mission that serves their own priorities or their own wants or desires without much like care for or consideration for anyone around them. So that's going to be how you know this person who is your soulmate. This is how you're going to realize that it's them, basically. So let's see how you present to them. How do they know it's you? How does the homecoming collective? I just had a thought as well. This person might, okay, well, I just had a thought. This person might even be someone who is maybe like leaving a relationship and they're quite unsure of who they are, who they want to be. There may be someone who is just looking for a new start, a new road, and they will do anything in their power to kind of get the opportunity to take it. So there may be someone who has recently left a relationship or had a relationship breakdown that they allowed to break down because they no longer wanted to be a part of it. It wasn't suiting their interests or their goals anymore. So that might be also a situation. So for yourself, we have trickster in the upright. This is how they're going to know it's you, and these are the characteristics that you're going to be showing towards them at the time. So we have trickster in the upright, transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. So you're a little bit unpredictable yourself, but you're kind of in a light-hearted way. You're kind of in a way that makes fun of society and makes fun of convention and almost like definitely an outsider, like someone who's not trying to go with the flow, or you're going to be at the time you're going to be feeling like everything's a little bit of a joke. Like you may be disillusioned a little bit as well with life at the time, and you're kind of just taking things a little bit light-hearted so that you're taking things a little bit light-hearted so that you can deal with something. There's some kind of thing that's happened to you and you're just kind of taking the light side of that situation and kind of you're trying to uplift yourself. You may have been through something quite rough. Okay, and you also have engineer in reverse. So this is the card. The shadow attribute, reliance on mechanical solutions without regard for emotional consequences. Yeah, so I think that is you disconnecting from your emotional self, and this might be why you're a little bit of a trickster at the time. You're kind of going through the motions a little bit. I feel like you might have had some kind of dark storm in your life recently, and you're kind of just taking everything with a grain of salt and trying to find the lighter part of situations. And this person, when they meet you, they are drawn to that part of you, but I think they also see that you have this side of yourself that's disconnected a bit. You've disconnected emotionally, And that might be kind of how they're feeling as well, because we have destroyer over here. So in a way, they're also trying to disconnect from something in their life. Let's get one more characteristic for you at the time. Okay, I've got 2. It's always like this. So we have child wounded in reverse. Shadow attribute: blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So you may have been re-triggered by something that happened in your childhood, and you are in a kind of state of emotional lockdown almost. You're unable to kind of see through anything but the film of this all over your life. You're starting to address your childhood wounds, and at this point you're not in a phase where you can feel accountable, or you can take on any of the it's not that there's blame, but you're kind of at the point of when you first see things in your life of why you're doing things. You're unpacking your childhood and you're seeing really difficult things there, and it's almost like making you think life's a joke. Like life is such a joke for me right now. Okay, so we also have King in the reverse. Excessive feelings of entitlement, rulership without restraint. And this is the picture. Yeah, so this is something that often happens when you have or recognize a traumatic event in your life. You start to, like, you want to take control of nearly everything around you because you feel out of control with your past or with what happened to you. So you're looking for any way to take back control. So I'm kind of seeing you both in disconnecting, weakened emotional phases that you might recognize in each other. And the things that will, like, mostly help you figure out each other is, one of you, your person, is an extremely brilliant, forward-thinking pioneer who has amazing, innovative ideas. And for you, you have a similar dissatisfaction with convention and stuffiness and predictable behavior, and you are someone who makes light of the strange circumstances that we find ourselves in. Like, you know, for example, things like how we have to do our taxes every year, you know, under punishment of paying fines, that kind of thing. In your head, it's like, my government knows exactly what I make and where my money comes from. Like, why do I have to go through this rigmarole extra thing of doing this stupid step? It makes no sense. They could do this automatically. It's just kind of that. You're just making fun of the way society is. Or you just find things that are almost like irrelevant now. Like, why do we still do this thing? This thing seems crazy. Why have we ever done this? That's kind of where you're going to be coming from. You're looking at the world through a critical lens. You're both looking at the world through an innovative, critical lens of, I've kind of had enough right now. I've had enough of what's been happening. Let's have a look at where your person is. Where is your person? What's happening with them? What's going on? etc. Okay, we have reconciliation, and we have Debbie. And Debbie is natural beauty, everything else is a plus, round the way girl, stylish, sex appeal, starstruck, showstopper, lover and friend. Where is your person at this time? Where are they? We have past events affecting the current energy in reverse. Okay. Where is your person? Ooh. We have alpha female. We have stop looking in the rear view mirror. I think I'll get one more. And then we'll get some tarot cards as well, just to see what the haps is. I say one more, we get two more. Always. Yeah, okay. Kind of what I was thinking. So we have co-parenting and we have new love. Back of the deck we have quality time. So I feel like you are seeing your person, or you're meeting your person at a time when they are ending a relationship in their life. It may be a relationship that they were in and out of, reconciling, coming back together, never really addressing the past, never really addressing the issues, and they're in a point where they can't deal with it anymore. They've had enough. They want a new start. They want a fresh beginning. And that's kind of when they come across you. So you're someone to them that is completely self-reliant, and you're someone who is self-motivated, and someone who is very different to them in the way that you are very, like, you're very unique, you're very self-contained, you look after yourself, you're not afraid to speak your mind, you're not afraid to address things that you don't like or find troubling. And then we have stop looking in the rearview mirror and new love. So I just feel like you kind of come across each other when this person is leaving a big relationship that they've had that has never been able to be resolved. Someone that they knew for a long time, someone who may have been a friend first, who turned into a lover. We have the co-parenting card here as well. So this person might be a parent, or their partner may have a child. They may be from a blended family where they both have children together. Children may come into the equation at some point, so that might be a way that you figure out who each other is, who each other are. What's the better way to say that? I actually don't really know. Let's have a look at what else Spirit can tell us through tarot about where they are. They're black numen in reverse. They're finding it difficult to remove themselves from a relationship or situation. They're looking for a way to close it down, to leave it. And this is why they're in this destroyer in the reverse mode. They've kind of done their dash with this situation. For the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So it's this feeling of never feeling like they've been appreciated or valued, feeling undervalued, feeling also like codependent as well, kind of feeling a little bit of enmeshment. Two of Pentacles in reverse on the back of the deck. It's an unbalanced situation where one person isn't really given the recognition for what they want to do, or who they are, or what they bring to the table, I suppose. What else, Spirit? Three of Cups in reverse. There may have been outside influences on their relationship. They may be feeling like their person talks about them a lot behind their back. They may have heard what they've said about them. They're feeling a lack of trust around their person, as in them when they're not sure if they're with other people or if they're just talking about them. That they feel like left out of the party. They feel like they're no longer in with their person anymore. Like they're no longer part of the best friend dynamic that I think they used to have. We have the Tower in reverse. They're trying to avoid a worse moment. They feel like it's bad now, it's only going to get worse. Let's have a look at where you are. You are Six of Swords. You're going in, you're taking yourself from mental anguish into calmer waters. You're finding your peace. You're going on a healing journey. You're taking yourself away from previous. You're taking yourself away from previous coping mechanisms that didn't help you in the past. We also have the Moon in reverse, and we have the Chariot. So you're doing such good healing work here. We've got the Moon in the reverse, so you're starting to see the world a lot clearer now. You're starting to see your past in a light that is illuminating all kind of like little behaviors that you used to have that weren't helping, things that you did just to cope. These things are being revealed to you. You're starting to understand yourself better, and you're also finding your feet again. You're becoming very good at what you do, maybe in career. You're taking giant leaps forward. You might be traveling a lot. You have the wind beneath your wings at this time, somewhat. It's like everything that you do kind of is working really easily. It's because you're finally doing the shadow work that you need to do to push yourself forward in life, and you're finding yourself with a lot more options than you've ever had before, like even in friends, in romance, in work. You're just coming up with a lot of new territories that you're able to like explore for yourself. You're in a very exploring energy. Back of the deck we have the Hierophant in reverse. It's like a feeling of unconventional changes, different lifestyle outside of the norm, thinking differently from traditional thinking. Someone who rejects the like cookie cutter family, you know, kids, car, house, lifestyle, and is thinking in different terms, in something much more self-serving rather than serving the community, or not even serving the community, but like serving like the capitalist patriarchal society that you're a part of. You recognize that it doesn't suit you, so you're finding ways to find a life that suits you. So let's also have a look at what issues you are going to be kind of going through together when you finally come together. What are some of the themes of your relationship going to be? Okay, we have the Animal. And we have the Offering. have the mountain. Alright, back of the deck we have the healer in reverse. Okay, so what I'm seeing here with these themes, it's like when you first come together, it's almost a really hedonistic, kind of animalistic, passionate time with each other. You're kind of reconnecting with the things that make you feel alive and human again, or not even human, I mean just like a being on this earth. You're kind of trying to get back to the senses, the things that ground you almost. So the things that feel sensually good, swimming, being in the ocean, listening to the rainfall, eating foods that you enjoy, you know, touching each other, touching sensual activities, things that make you feel alive again. It's almost like you had been through like phases where you were just going through the motions, doing all this stuff that, you know, you were told your whole life that people had to do to be successful, and now it's like when you find each other, you finally break free of that, and you take a while to re-establish your senses with each other. You want to experience all your senses together, like, I love this food, try this food, let's go somewhere crazy, let's travel together, let's have new sensual experiences together, let's do some firsts together. We then have the offering. The offering is about giving to get back. It's about understanding the divinity, or the largeness of a wish that you have, or a manifestation that you're trying to pull in, and realizing that to get the best of this, you have to put in a sacrifice. So there may be a time where you both have to make a kind of sacrifice to be with each other. Someone may have to move a place that they're used to living in, someone may have to change their job, someone may have to do more, you know, childcare if there's a child in the picture than they used to do. There's some kind of exchange, and it's done with a reverence to the connection of each other. It's like, for anyone else in the world, perhaps I would never have done this, but because it's you, and because you're the person that is the most in alignment with me, I'm willing to do this thing, give up this, sacrifice this to get my outcome, which is with your person, your soulmate. The other thing about the offering is this might be something that also may help you connect to each other now. So you may find yourself wanting to tap into your soulmate if you haven't met them yet, if you don't know where they are in your life. You can give an offering to your ancestors, to your guides, to a deity that you may resonate with. You can give an offering to a tree if you don't have an altar. You can use a tree, and then in return ask for, you know, ask for a dream, ask for something that will help you connect to your soulmate, and that may move things along quicker for you. It's the energy of giving to get. Like, you recognize the absolute. It's like you recognize the situation as one that is important enough that you will put in for it. And then we have over here the mountain. So it's like something comes up, or there becomes a large hurdle, and it may seem like the best way to get to it or to get over it is like maybe to separate, or it might be a very scary situation, something that's quite intimidating, something that maybe changes a lot for you very quickly, something that's quite daunting to look at. But the advice is to go through it together, just take it step by step, and to look for not shortcuts, but there are better ways than the ways that everyone's telling you. So doing it a completely different way, an innovative way, is the way to do this, to take on this this mountain. And it's also kind of saying that what you've built is kind of a testament to your relationship. You build something together that is like remarkable, like people comment on it, they think it's magnificent. It is something that is a testament to how hard you have both worked together, and it can withstand generations, lifetimes, you know, thousands and thousands of years. Think of a mountain in that way. There is a basis that you have, that you've done this, and I think you've probably done this in many lives together, where you'll eventually have built in this life again another strong foundation for your soulmate story, even in the next life, to build upon. So every time you meet each other again, it just gets easier and easier and easier. So this might be one of the incarnations where it's a little bit harder for you to find each other, particularly if someone is already in a different relationship. Let's get some tunneled messages from your person and see what they would say to you at the moment. So I'm going to be using my Aphrodite deck. I purchased this on my website. I'm also using the Aphrodite candle today. Just be careful that the wax doesn't spill. I haven't launched these candles yet, but these are going to be coming out soon. Maybe within a few days, depends on how ambitious I am this weekend in making more candles. But it's been a constant for the past few weeks, candle making. So let's see what your person would say to you. Oh. They say, when I'm with you, time goes too quickly. So at the start of your relationship, you may find that this is the kind of person that you get into a conversation with and you can almost talk forever. It's like an easy, amazing conversation every time you speak. It's always interesting, and when you have to leave, you kind of don't want to stop talking. You still have things that you'd want to say, and you both find each other extremely fun to be around. We also have we dream of each other and keep it a secret. So you may have a period of time when you're together that you may not be able to be together for whatever reason, and you may at the start also kind of hide your feelings for each other just because you're not sure of like if it's the right thing, if it's reciprocated. You also need to keep an eye on your dreams. Your dreams may have messages for you that show you who your person is. You also have I'm good with or without you in reverse. So this person, when you're not around, after they have been with you, they don't do well when you're not there. In fact, now that you're not with them, as in right now, if you're not with them, they're not coping very well. When you come along, it brings a light into their life that they find hard to see without, once they've been introduced to it. What else would their person say to them? It says, let's be together in reverse. I feel like the first conversation of you two wanting to get together, it might be quite hard to start off with. I think because you both seem like a kind of almost Aquarius type energy, very cerebral, very quick-witted, very genius kind of behavior. But also the other thing about Aquarius is Aquarian energy is like the energy of friends. So you may be friends for a long time and not know how to convert it into a relationship. You also have, I just want to say you're mine, you're mine. So it's also echoing again that there is a situation that you have where it's like you want each other but you don't know what each other wants, and you feel a attachment to each other but you also feel like you're not entitled to that attachment to each other. And then we have, I've never met anyone like you, also in reverse. Yeah, I just think that there is a very difficult, even though you both seem to be like air type of signs, maybe air moons or air ascendants. You're always on my mind in reverse. Like you're very, you think about each other a lot, but you find it very difficult to express things to each other, especially in the beginning. And that's going to be something that you'll have to work on as well. It's going to be showing each other that you are actually into each other. It may speed things up if you're able to express yourselves a little bit faster, express your feelings a little bit quicker. I don't know. Let's see what advice. I've got the Romance Angels by Doreen Virtue. Let's get some advice. Is it Doreen Virtue? Is it Doreen? I think it is. Yep. Let's see what advice we have. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Yeah, so I think there is a time where it just gets really difficult. This may be around the mountain time, where you're thinking something that's coming up might be just too hard for you both to take on, but it's actually better if you do take it on together. It's something that you'll actually grow as a couple and you'll become stronger for it rather than separating. It's better that you do it together. Maybe like one of you goes through a big family death, or some situation, someone loses their job, some life-changing situation that seems very difficult, and it's actually better if you both work with each other to just go through it step by step, day by day. We have codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life, and I think this may relate to this person's previous relationship, and that might be what's affecting you currently, is that they might still be in this relationship. They might be finding it difficult to remove themselves from this this on and off relationship that they seem to be having with their previous significant partner. It just might be hard for them to get out of the loop of, fighting, then, go get back together, then 3 days later you're fighting again, and this might be something that they find it very difficult to disconnect from. Also get some advice from the Lovers Oracle. What advice do you have for the Homecoming Collective? I just feel like this is a couple that I feel like you're going to travel places, and that's why you chose Homecoming. You may be two people that travel a lot, maybe together, or maybe one of you has to go away and come back, but I feel like there is this feeling of coming home to each other, like you miss each other a lot. There's a big stage of missing each other that goes on, where you don't get to be with each other. There's some kind of separation moment. So the advice they have for you is this picture of the wings, flying somewhere. The past is now behind you. Release it and embrace new possibilities. A new path is now available to you. Follow it with faith. Yeah, so this kind of speaks to the changing circumstances that you both find yourself in when you come together. It's kind of like the start of your new life. You're no longer plagued by the past things that were holding the both of you down. And for you, it seems to be some kind of childhood wounds, and for them, it seems to be their tumultuous past relationship. We also have this one, and it says, criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. Yeah, so it's getting out of this kind of, when you meet each other, you're both in a very critical phase with life and with others, and I feel like it's going to be disconnecting from that mode and recognizing the things that you like in others and in each other, and focusing on that rather than the negative experiences that you've previously been kind of dealing with. So that is all I have for you, Homecoming Collective. I hope this was really helpful. I hope it gave a little bit of insight. If not, you can always choose another pile. And thank you so much for coming to my reading. If you liked it, please like the video and subscribe. Have a great day or night, whatever time it is where you are. And thanks for coming. Bye. Hi and welcome to lulicat.tarot. I'm leisha, aka lulicat, and this is my free tarot channel on YouTube. If you chose Moon River, this is going to be your reading on where is your soulmate. So today we're going to be starting with some oracle decks. We're also going to use tarot. We're going to get channeled messages, and we're also going to look at some advice for you to help you recognize your soulmate. So let's start off with looking at some characteristics that the both of you will have at the time when you meet. So let's first look at your person. What characteristics will the Moon River Collective's person have that will help them recognize them? We have Engineer in the upright, ability to give creative energy a practical expression, talent for designing resolutions to common dilemmas. So your person may be in engineering, they may just be very good at problem solving, they may do that for work, fault finding. They may be quite innovative. They might be someone who is very logical minded and practical. There's someone who is very good with their hands, fixing things. They might be a mechanic. There are so many different types of engineer. Could be a software engineer, mechanical engineer. We also have Damsel in the upright. This says, understanding the nature of healthy romance inspires you to rely on yourself. So this person has a good understanding of the kind of relationship that is a healthy relationship, one that's not too overly dependent on one or the other of you. We also have God in the upright. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. So when you meet your person, you're going to find that they're very measured in the way that they think, talk, and act. They're also a very compassionate person. When this comes out saying God, I don't think of like, you know, any certain God or like any certain powerful person, but more along the ways of like maybe like a Jesus type figure, how compassionate they were when they were in this world. Someone who has endless understanding for people, someone who sees people who need help and helps them without thinking. They also, because we have the damsel in the upright, it's also someone who doesn't help people to the point where they are unable to help themselves. They're not like taking over, they're kind of giving people the tools to help themselves. It could be someone who is like a mentor to other people or a teacher. This person is very kind-natured. They're very loving. They find it easy to express themselves. They're very good balance of intellectual and also heart centered thought. So they really understand human emotion, and they're very centered around giving good advice, or ensuring that the people that they meet aren't worse off after they meet them, they're better off. Someone who's very careful with others' feelings and emotions. They're also someone who empowers others, that allows them to feel like they're a stronger person for having known your person. This person might be someone who helps you get back on your feet after a difficult time. Let's have a look at the characteristics that you'll be displaying that they'll be able to recognize you by. We have detective in reverse, voyeurism, and falsifying information. Interesting. At the time that you meet them, you don't feel like you're able to express yourself to them. You're also a little bit wary of them. You kind of need to watch them for a while to see if you can figure out if this is their real personality or not. It's like you've had a really difficult previous partnership where the person that you were with was very two-faced in the way that they actually were feeling. So they may have given you this idea that they were one way when actually they were quite harsh and quite not very kind. So you're taking a lot of time and you're giving a lot of false answers when you meet your person. You're not convinced that this person is the way that they are, and I think it shocks you when you watch them long enough to find out that no, this is actually who they are. They are very much what they present as. We also have from you child nature. This says friendship with animals, communication with nature spirits. Yeah, you might be someone who spends a lot of time outdoors. You may have lots of pets. I am still feeling this energy of you've been betrayed by people, and so you find animals to be, a safer option. You're also a very gentle soul person who you might be one of those kinds of people that just has the most loving and kind nature, and babies and all those creatures that are pure of heart. They are drawn to you. You might like to spend a lot of time out in going for walks or grounding or hiking or camping, something like that. You get a real you tap into nature a lot, and it's a way for you to gain more power, or it's a source of energy for you. It's a source. Oh, I just said a source of energy from you. So maybe nature also gets a lot from you. The energetic vibration that you give back to nature may be healing for nature as well. You might have a lot of plants. You might grow a lot of flowers and things like that, and you might just have a very green thumb. This is what you're kind of presenting as when your person meets you. What else? Spirit. seems like you're very secretive though, like you don't give much away. You might be very quiet and reserved when you meet this person. And we also have addict in the upright, so it helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So it may be that you had been around someone who was an addict and you were assisting them or trying to help them get better, or you were in a relationship with someone perhaps who took advantage of your kindness, and you had to go through a very difficult extraction from this relationship. And actually that does kind of make sense. Like, for example, if the person that you're with turned on you, and you know, if they're a two-faced person who had an addictive behavior and who might have been you know, relapsing or something, they could have been stalking you, they could have been scaring you, and at the time that you meet your person, you may just be a little bit broken from that experience. So let's have a look now at where your person is, like what's happening in their life at the time when you are meeting, like what's going on for you both. Let's just get a little bit more detail. This is the Snapshot Oracle by Divinity Speaks. This is one of my favorite decks. It's just a very good, it's kind of like a 90s style, 90s movie kind of deck that has a lot of movie references, which I love. So we have keep your options open in reverse. I feel like this person might be someone that others try to take advantage of a lot, and so they kind of don't give everyone the opportunity to be around them. We also have Cousin Ebony, Faith. Someone close to you has eyes for your boo, falling around behind your back, envy, wanting what you have, smiling in your face but doing you dirty behind your back. That might be something that's going on for either one or both of you. Yeah, you're like attracting false people. You're both very honest, open, loving people, but the people who have been coming along are kind of been taking advantage of that. We have Karma in the reverse. So it's almost like you're trapped in a karmic cycle that you can't get out of, and it's around boundaries, putting boundaries in place with others. We also have past events affecting the current energy. Yeah, and it's certainly something that happens when you two meet each other. You don't kind of know how to take each other, and you kind of put each other through a little bit of tests, I think. You just are so wary of the experiences that you have previously had. You may have had to learn how to have boundaries and recognize difficult behaviors in others because you're both giving people, or just naturally kind and loving people who give people chances. And I think you may have both been taken advantage of a little bit. This one to come out before, so it's Diamond in the Rough. When you see each other, you actually just can't tear your eyes away a little bit. You automatically recognize something in each other that is different from anyone that you've met And even after you meet each other, you kind of always come back to thinking about this person because they're very different to people that you have previously been around. So we also have confrontational arguments, shit stir up, bust the windows out your car vibes, potential domestic violence, confrontational. I think this is, it could be on your side or one of each other's side, but there's this real feeling of you're both coming out of, or maybe you are coming out of a really disruptive and potentially violent relationship. We also have 24/7 coming out in the reverse. So this says best friends, always together, always on their mind, separation anxiety. I think this may be the person that you were with. I think there was maybe a lot of enmeshment in your previous relationship, maybe in both of your previous relationships, and it was just very hard to remove yourself from the toxic dynamic because you spent a lot of time together. If this person has an addictive personality, they may have been using you as a kind of like band-aid for their addictive behavior. We also have divine feminine on the back of the deck, and I feel like you both have very divine energy. Like your person has God and you have child of nature. They're like any of the child cards are quite like innocent, angelic type cards. So when I see these cards come out, for me it indicates someone who is very much in tune with very much in tune with the divine aspects of life, and child nature in particular is someone who is connected to the earth, maybe earth angel type vibe, someone who just loves being out, grounding themselves a lot, feeling the grass beneath their feet, swimming in rivers, in oceans, someone who really likes to indulge in the natural landscape around them. And your person's coming out with the God card, so that's quite like, that's, you know, how much more divine can you get? When you two meet each other, you just know. It just seems to be too good to be true at the start, so you kind of both question each other's motives, and I think that's smart for what you've been through. Let's also have a look with tarot to see what's kind of been going on in both of your lives at the time. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. It's like a lack of self-love, almost self-value, like not seeing the value in yourself. You're going through a phase where you're quite insecure. Your previous relationship may have made you feel very insecure, like you could never give enough or do enough, like who you were wasn't enough. There's also this element of not being valued, like in the upright, the Queen of Pentacles is the most valuable woman in the deck. She's the quintessential abundant, like giving, sensual. She's also earth element, which kind of links back to your child of nature card as well. So I just feel like you may be going through a phase where you're just completely rattled, and you have to, I think grounding and doing some work in nature will really help you get back to your roots. We have the Six of Cups in reverse. Six of Cups in reverse tells me that you're very much affected by emotional connections that weren't what they were supposed to be, It was like they were revealed to you later to be false, almost. Like you thought a relationship was one way, and then someone came back to you and said, haha, actually, it was this the whole time. I was just using you. Along those lines, like, it's like you can't get over a false memory, like a memory that you had that has now proven to be false. It just doesn't ring true to you. You're constantly drawn back to this thought or this emotional feeling that you had at that time. We have the Four of Wands in reverse. This speaks of separations, going different ways, breakdowns of households, contracts that you may have had with people. Maybe you had to sell a house. Maybe either of you had to sell a house. This could be your person as well. Your person may find themselves suddenly single out of nowhere, after someone had almost hoodwinked them into believing that the relationship was one way when actually it was another. It's just this real feeling of my stable foundation is now gone. We have the Ten of Cups in reverse. So just emotionally bereft, like very depressed and down, very sad. Also, it's like a feeling of no one being around to lean on. You have the Two of Pentacles in reverse coming out. And that just tells me that you're both kind of going through similar situations. Similarly off-balancing situations that it's almost like you're tied to a certain outcome of like how you're actually going to feel at the time that you meet each other is like you're almost at breaking point, you know. You're like, I've been through all of this and you're both at a really low point, almost at the point of giving up. But then we have the Nine of Cups coming out for you, which is wish fulfillment. So I feel like you meet each other and you're almost each other's wish come true. Well, you are each other's wish come true. You just appear out of nowhere, and each of you carries the characteristics that you wish to see in your person. You know, you wanted to see someone who was kind and giving and helpful, and they wanted to see someone who was adventurous and loved nature and somewhat, you know, a little bit reserved, a little bit tricky, and also someone who understands toxic and unhealthy connections and doesn't want to be a part of them. And I think that's a big point for the both of you. You're both looking for a very healthy relationship. We also have the Three of Cups coming up for you, and this is talking of celebrations, parties, maybe weddings, maybe engagement. It's like a real celebration when you come together, and I'm just reminded of that Nicki Minaj song Moment for Life, where she says it's a celebration every time we link up. Every time you link up with this person, it's fun. It's just fun times. It will, like, you let loose, you let your hair down, everything feels just good. And you can relax with each other, and you're kind of best friends. Let's get one more card, Spirit. Oh. We have the Knight of Swords in reverse. I feel like this, it's like a slowing down energy, and it's a slowing down or a stopping energy. It's almost like cutting off yourselves from the outside world. It's like you've been through enough with other people, and now you're like, I found my person. No one else is really allowed in now. It's just me and them. When we've given people chances, they haven't been very trustworthy, so our circle is tight. It's a closed circle. Back of the deck we have Judgment in reverse. So even though you may have made bad judgments in regards to people, these relationships gave you learnings and allowed you to move to a point where you're finally at the right emotional place to meet each other and appreciate each other when you meet each other. Because in the past you may not have appreciated this type of person when you met each other. Let's now look at what kind of lessons that you may go through together in this lifetime. You may have many lifetimes together, but just in this lifetime, let's see what kind of lessons you're going to tackle with each other. Okay, we have the warrior, we have the offering. This came out in the last group in the same position. And we have the forest. Back of the deck we have the thread. The thread is interesting because it talks about the red thread of fate that ties you to your person, your soulmates, your soul family. And it's the idea that no matter where you go, you have this red thread that you follow through your life until you finally find each other. So let's start off with the warrior. I feel like there is a point when you two come together where you really do have to fight for each other in the face of maybe I'm feeling like maybe past partners or like interfering third parties. There does seem to be a bit of toxic previous relationship things that have happened with you two, which kind of it's also like fighting for each other a little bit, and seeing each other fight for each other kind of spurs you on and builds you a stronger foundation, and finding kind of the outside world to keep your inner sanctity. It's like it's like one of your things is that you have to also fight for yourself. You have to fight for yourself to want more for yourself. You can't kind of be settling for what's around you, particularly if you're in a relationship where someone is doing behaviors that are dangerous. You know, you have to have some fight left in you to fight for a better life for yourself, and it's because you're probably going to have a family one day. I would imagine that you also have to protect, so you have to kind of be almost like a ferocious lioness in a way, or lion looking after their cub. There's this element that to protect each other and protect your family against the world, you have to like engage your fighter within you. There is a part of you that can't just sit back and take bad behaviors or toxic, terrible behaviors. At some point you have to turn around and stand up for yourself and empower yourself. And at that point is kind of when you, I think, will like maybe be getting together or be meeting each other, because when you first meet this person, I don't think you're in a very fighter point. I think you're in a very troubled point. So I think maybe later you feel empowered, like maybe this person helps empower you to feel stronger. There is also the next part of your story is the offering, which talks about a sacrifice or a giving of something to get back. When you think of the offering, it is like a holy rite that we engage in when we are asking our deity or the universe or whoever to help us, to assist us in granting our wishes or providing favor or allowing something to happen or giving divine protection. But in some way, one or both of you will have to give something to get back. It has to be something, it doesn't have to be like money, or it may be that one of you moves to the other person's area, or it may be that one of you becomes the main breadwinner for a time, while the other person has to do something else, or it could even be something small. If you're someone who has an altar and gives offering to your gods, deities, ancestors, spirit guides, etc., giving offerings and being thankful, doing gratitude work may also assist in bringing your person into your current sphere faster. Also like charity work, giving to others. You both seem very giving people, so I feel like it's just changing where you're giving this effort, or instead of just giving to the world at large, maybe there is something that you could both do that, I don't know, somehow it helps your situation. You have to sacrifice something to get that sacred union that you're looking for to make it work. The forest, for me, it brings up this energy of, it's almost like the dark night of the soul kind of energy. You see how dark the forest is, and there's this kind of like, it looks like there's a cave or an opening at the front, and then this like rainbow sky, but the forest itself is just very dark and kind of looming. It's almost like maybe it's like your internal selves have to go through a very dark moment in your life, where perhaps you support each other and help each other come out the other end. You save each other almost by kind of being there for each other in a dark space when you can't see the forest for the trees for the forest. I don't know how that saying goes, but it's something like that. The forest is also like, it takes you back to how you're a person who loves nature. Maybe you don't know that you love nature yet. Maybe you haven't even been out in nature much since, we've had multiple lockdowns in this lifetime, and etc. so forth. I'm from Melbourne, so we had many lockdowns. There was a time where we weren't allowed to go a certain distance from our house, so we were kind of stuck wherever we were within like a 1 or 5k radius or something. And I know people that didn't have backyards were like losing their minds because they couldn't get to a park or they couldn't get to a natural place. And you really, when you're taken out of that environment for a long time, you don't realize how much it can affect you. So for you, nature itself is enriching to your soul. You may not realize it yet, but you may not know exactly what type of nature is enriching to your soul yet. You might find that after many years of thinking you didn't like the beach, suddenly it's your favorite place to be. But there's definitely a connection to nature here that's very important. It's a place where you find answers, and it may be that your family is, you know, maybe connected to the fae, or maybe connected to very natural or shamanic kind of, you know, you may have ties to ancestors that lived nomadic lives in, you know, very wild areas, jungles or mountainous areas. Maybe taking a trek back to these kinds of places will help you connect back in with something or get revelation. There are things that we have called way lines, and they are lines that they're like all over the earth, and they're different for each person. And when you go back to a certain way line that, you know, connects with your ancestral history, it unlocks feelings, memories, and even abilities that you may not have previously had. That could be very important for you. Let's have a look at what your person would say to you now. What would your person say to you if they could say anything? They say, I'll never lie to you in reverse. And I feel like that's because maybe at some point you lie to them about something. We have this behavior of yours where you don't really give them the right information. We also have I'm moving on. So I think this is about moving on from their past traumatic relationships. We also have I want to date you. These are all from my Aphrodite oracle, which is available on my website. We're also using the Aphrodite candle today, which I haven't really launched yet. Let's see if you can see her. But I'm hoping to, this is kind of my first mock-up candle of her, and I'm hoping to make more very soon, depending on how much energy I have for the rest of this Easter long weekend. Let's see what else your person would say to you. They're definitely someone who likes sweet dates, like even if it's just going to get smoothies or just going for a drive or a walk somewhere. We have I'll take care of you in reverse. Maybe this is someone who does a lot of things with their actions but doesn't actually, you know, speak on what they're doing, but they might be someone who will just go out and get you a coffee, or they will always think of you when they're doing something and come back with something that you might need. Like you may have said that, oh, you have to get your washing done, and while you're working, they go and do your washing for you. They might be someone who just do really surprising, cute, sweet little things like that for you. You don't really have to tell them. They anticipate what you need and then just do it. We also have rescue me in reverse. And I think this is because you're both learning to rescue yourselves and empower yourselves out of positions where you feel unempowered or attacked. We also have too many. Okay, one at a time. Something came out. We have parting is such sweet sorrow. This might be around the time of your dark night of the soul. There may be a time when you guys are apart from each other for whatever reason. May just be that someone has to work somewhere, and the other person may have a difficult time without them, but also learn a lot and learn how to be taking care of themselves, looking after themselves without relying on someone else. We also have it's never too late in reverse. It's never too late. It's never too late. I feel like this is about the start of your relationship when kind of not being honest with each other, but you give each other a second chance. You also have I'll be with you, I'll be there for you. And this does seem like a relationship where you're both very good at anticipating what each other wants and needs and just being there for each other. You both have had very dark moments, and sometimes you just need someone to hold you through those moments. We also have I've been thinking about you, and I feel like this is a now thing. Like, I think your person is just thinking about how they want to be with a person that's just like you. We have I am so tired in reverse on the back of the deck. I think they're just going through it, and I think maybe you're also going through it. So let's get some advice now. This is the Romance Angels deck by Doreen Virtue. Can we have some advice, please, Spirit? And what will help the Moon River Collective? When you think about your picture, it is quite a natural picture. You may be very attuned to the moon and the phases of the moon, like a full moon, etc. It's like a very serene picture of someone on a boat, on a green river somewhere. So we have keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Yeah, and I feel like that's that part I was feeling where if you had have met each other at a different time, you may not have even given each other like the time of day, but it's because of the relationship that you've had previously, and where it has taken you, that you kind of give this person a chance when you may not have done that, if you had different experiences. We also have free yourself. It is time to take back control of your life. Yeah, I do feel that's you empowering yourself to leave terrible situations, and maybe it's your person as well. Let's get some advice from this Lovers Oracle. What advice will help the Moon River Collective, please, Spirit? What advice? Okay, we have wait. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. You may have a very long courting time where you're both trying to figure each other out, and Spirit's just saying, don't make up your mind too quickly about each other. Just give each other time to understand each other, and give each other a real chance. Did I show you the picture? This is the picture. It's like a tree. Oh my god, look at it. It's nature. It's like Grandmother Willow from Pocahontas. We also have this one. This is very pretty. And it says, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. I just love when it all like comes into alignment like this. Just lets me know that this is exactly the reading. Like, it just makes sense to me. But yeah, I hope that this reading has been helpful for you, Moon River Collective. I think that song may be important to you. If you know that song, Moon River, it's from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I'm sure it's just a song in general that they just played in Breakfast at Tiffany's, but it goes, Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday. Dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. And then it says, oh my god, two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see. We're after the same rainbow's end. My huckleberry friend, Moon River, and me. So I guess it's just you two. You're both wanting the same kind of peaceful, loving, happy life, probably in nature somewhere away from the rest of the world. But I hope that this was helpful for you, Moon River Collective. Thank you so much for coming to my reading. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you another time very soon. Okay, bye. Hi and welcome to Lulicat Tarot. I am Leisha, aka Lulicat, and this is my free tarot channel on YouTube. If you chose butterfly, this is going to be your reading on where is your soulmate. So today we're going to look at oracle cards, we're going to get some tarot card messages, and we're also going to get channeled messages, and then we're going to get some advice. So we're starting off with looking at how you'll recognize each other. So what characteristics will you both be kind of displaying at the time of meeting? So let's have a look for the Butterfly Collective. What characteristics will they be seeing in their soulmate? Thank you, Spirit. So we have student in reverse. This says arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. So they might be quite a clever person, like book smart, but they're not very good at applying their knowledge to practical situations. Yeah, they may come off like a bit of a know-it-all, but someone who's unwilling to like get their hands dirty or actually take part in doing things. There might be someone who critiques a lot but doesn't kind of put their hand up to say, I'll help do the solution. We also have hedonist in reverse. This says pursues pleasure to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others. So they might be a little bit indulgent in maybe like drinking or shopping, or they may be someone who is very self-centered, you know. We also have prostitute coming out in the upright for them. This says accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. So that kind of tells me that your person has been through a lot of difficult times. Maybe they went through a time in their life where they were very poor, or they couldn't really afford the pleasures that they wanted to, they saw others, you know, partaking in. And so when you meet them, they're like in a whole new like element of their life where they are finally, they have the money to do what they want to do, and they kind of want to do it. They're also like, I've learned enough lessons. I'm not learning any more lessons. I'm tired of learning lessons. Like they've like been through a lot at this point. And they're quite a powerful person though. Like they're someone who stands out in a crowd. They back themselves. They're a very charismatic person. They know a lot. They're very clever, but they're also very self-serving when you meet them. And for you, that might be a little bit off-putting because that may not, it's something that's going to stand out to you, but there are good reasons for it. And the reasons for it is because they may not have ever had much their whole life, and now they finally do, or they finally feel comfortable enough or empowered enough that they'll allow themselves to take care of themselves. They might have been someone who, you know, gave themselves a very restrictive diet because they wanted to look a certain way, and at some point they're just like, no, I'm doing what I want now. They might have had overbearing parents or something who wanted them to be a certain thing, and now that they are no longer under their, you know, roof, under their parents' roof or their family's roof or something, now they can finally do and be the person that they want to be. So that might be a little bit like get your attention a little bit when you meet them, but there are reasons, good reasons as to why they are like this. Okay, let's see what you're going to be presenting like when you meet them. What would they notice about you? And how will they recognize that you are their soulmate? Let's have a look. We have, wow, a couple of uprights here. So we have Don Juan, which is spotlights your positive, seductive qualities. This person thinks you look, sound, and act good. Like you're someone that is charming to them, a very attractive person. And you inspire romantic feelings in them almost straight away. They want to be around you. We have beggar in the upright, and this says confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. So you might be actually going through a very tough time materially yourself. So when you see this person spending and being a little bit self-indulgent, you might kind of be from a different walk of life where you're kind of like, why are you wasting this money? You shouldn't buy so many pairs of pants when there are so many people who are starving. And this comes from the type of sweatshop where they make children make this stuff. Like, you see the bigger picture a little bit. You kind of find it to be a little bit like alarming. Yeah, you're very much thinking about the world and others' well-being as a whole. And I feel like you've been through it. You might be going through it materially at this stage. Like, you might have had to take a pay drop, or you might have lost your job for a while. You might have had to do it tough for a while. So, but you're also in alignment with other people's struggles as well. You might be finding the cost of living is quite high, so indulgent behaviors aren't really for you. They're just kind of, it seems frivolous and wasteful. And you're thinking about the environment as well, like environmental impacts that spending and things have. So yeah, I think you're coming from a little bit of two different worlds, but you're also quite, wow, we've got engineer coming out for you. This came out for both the piles. We're having like this, it might be because, Pluto just went into Aquarius. Yeah. Might just be having like this just Aquarian kind of, mind revolution thing. But anyway, engineers coming out. You're a very logical person. You apply knowledge. You apply your knowledge, and this person doesn't apply their knowledge. They know it and they don't care, they don't do it. You use your knowledge, your very hard-won knowledge, like every day. You're the kind of person that if you see a nice outfit that you think's good, you'll go and get the material and you'll sew it yourself. You'll put it together. You'll be like, I can make that better and I can make it cheaper. And you make it and it will look good. You're someone who, if something in your house breaks, you'll Google it and you'll put it back together yourself. You're someone who's very self-motivated. You know that you can do anything, basically. You believe in yourself a lot, and you know that even in you've kind of had to hustle a bit. You've got a good hustle mentality. You're like, I'm not going to waste money paying for a service on my car when I can change the oil myself. I'm just going to change the oil myself. Like, I'm not going to, the guy's going to quote me so much money. I'm just going to go do it. Like, I don't need other people to do it for me. I'm just going to do it. And this person's kind of like, I don't need to do it. I'm gonna pay someone to do it because I don't have the time. I can't be bothered. I don't want to do that anymore. I've done my life doing those things. Now I'm living a life where I don't have to do these menial tasks anymore. So it's almost like you've kind of swapped life positions. Like maybe this person came from this and now they're in this phase where they're more time poor but money rich, whereas you're time rich and money poor. So I guess you're gonna have these conversations with each other where you're like, why you're wasting your money on this? Why are you buying that? And I can do this for you. We can both do this. And this person is clever enough to do these things themselves. They're like, yeah, I used to do it, but I figure that the 3 hours I used to waste doing that task, I can now save it and I can go do something else. So that's kind of where you're both mentally coming from when you meet each other. Hopefully that'll give you clues as to who you are in each other's lives. Now I'm gonna have a look at what's going on with you guys when you meet. Like, what's the background, what's happening, where are you, what's going on, what's popping. So Spirit, please, for the Butterfly Collective, what is happening in their life? We have Divine Feminine. I'm just going to take the top two. We also have Sweeping Shit Under the Rug. We have Loyalty. We have Your Intuition is Correct in reverse. Yeah, I feel like you both don't really like have the right idea about each other when you meet each other. You kind of have to prove each other wrong a little bit. Like you have my motives wrong. You both have each other's motives incorrect or something. You both find each other like attractive. You're both, I think, very attractive people, but when you talk to each other, you're a little bit like, why are you doing this? You're a little bit critical of the way each other does things. And not because you don't believe that you can do it. It's like, I believe in you. I know that you can do this. So why aren't you doing it? Are you being lazy? Like, why aren't you doing it? We have Run the Course in reverse. And we have Royalty. And I'm just going to get one more. Maybe one of you comes from a very affluent family, just because we have royalty here, or maybe they just are very good at acting like they do, or maybe when you both can like come together, you build each other up a lot, and you become a lot wealthier when you're together. We also have, in reverse, just another girl on the IRT. Mother, possible young pregnancy, partied young, officially chilled out, at odds with parents, having problems with teenagers, have some fun. Yeah, that's the energy I was getting from your person, like from a strict household or something. But I also think that maybe you guys meet in some kind of strange circumstance, like you're both on the same train and you both get off at the same station and then go to the same party or something, or you run into you have like the same set of friends, but one of you is, and I think it might be your person, they are sweeping things under the rug as in they're giving a lot of excuses for why they do certain things certain ways, but they're also not really addressing what it is. There's a little like integrity blip happening where that you identify almost immediately, and you kind of pull them up on it. But you pull them up on it for the wrong reason, and you come to find out the right reason down the track. But once you get together, you're very loyal to each other. You may have periods of time where you like break up for a little bit and then come back together. Like you might think that this has no staying power because you might be from very different types of households or like cultures or nationalities where you feel like it doesn't seem to have longevity, but there is a lot of longevity there. When you try, you kind of build a new intergenerational like wealth situation happens. When you come together, you kind of change the lives of many different descendants after you. Like you two coming together, bridging these two families, like creates a whole new wealth cycle for the both of your future descendants. It's definitely a divine orchestrated event. We have divine feminine here, and I think you present like a divine counterpart straight away to this person, whereas they kind of look like they have a little bit of, you know, polishing that they could do that you could help with. But I think you both empower each other to do things, like you believe in each other, and you're very loyal to each other, you're trustworthy with each other. Let's get some tarot and see what tarot will tell us. What else is going on for these two when they meet? For the Butterfly Collective, please. We have Three of Swords in reverse, healing from pain, from betrayal perhaps. We have Five of Swords in reverse. There may be some situation where you guys stop talking or lose contact with someone who you really care about, or there may be relationships that you have that are separating and are kind of, you're losing contact with people, you're just out of the loop. You may find that your friends are not your friends, or your partner has betrayed you. Yeah, we have Ten of Swords coming out. It's all about healing from like something terrible, something horrible. And maybe this is why this person acts the way that they act, why they care so much about time, why they don't want to waste time, why they'd rather waste money. For them, money doesn't mean anything. Time is important. Money is not important for them. Only life is important. That's from Fifth Element. Something happened to your person. Something really terrible happened to your person. I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if like there was death in the family or something. Some very difficult situation means that they don't have the time that everyone else has, or to them time has a higher value, and they don't want to put energy into things that they think are stupid. They just want to have what they want straight away because of something has gone down. Like, I don't know if they lost a loved one somehow that got very sick, and or a relationship broke down, and something to do with how they act now stems from some past situation. We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's like the energy over here that we have of the student who never really becomes the master of their craft. They learn how to do it, but they don't apply it. That's the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Wands here. It's like they're very good at getting ideas, but they don't follow through with the plan. They get the idea and then maybe they might even have, you know, like depression or some kind of like, what would you call it? Some kind of neurological dysfunctional kind of thinking where their mental state affects their ability to work or do things. They may be sick. And we have the Two of Swords. When they meet you, it's like instant. They know exactly what they want. And I think maybe you put them, like, you put them in their place straight away. They do something around you, and you kind of like pull them up on it straight away. But they really like you still. But they display this ability of this not wanting to work thing. And you kind of say, why are you doing it like that? Or why aren't you actually doing the thing? And it's because of these traumatic things over here that have led them to being very careful with where they place their time and effort. I think they'll have a certain story that they'll tell you one day when you guys trust each other. Yeah, when you have healing, the Star. It's something that explains everything. This person has been through something very significant, something very difficult. Some emotional manipulation or emotionally dysfunctional. Yeah, something that when they meet you, I don't know, you melt away all their worries. Something about you is very straight up, very in their face about things. They know exactly where they stand with you. So there's no betrayal there. They don't ever have to worry about what you're thinking or what you're doing, because you always relieve their mind of any stresses or fears. But at the start there is some rockiness that you have together. Now we're going to have a look at some themes that you two go through together in your life, some lessons that you may learn. 2222 just went through on the timer, so if that's one of your numbers, it's showing up today for you. So let's see what kind of lessons you guys will be learning together. Okay, we have apocalypses, and that's this feeling. We also have the vow. I really like that. What else? Let's get one more. Alrighty. Just one more. Here we go. Got the underworld. Hades and Persephone vibes. If you don't know about them, I think I'm going to tell you about them very soon. But I talk about them a lot, so if you follow me, you've probably heard about them already. We also have the Poet on the back of the deck. I consider myself a poet. I love poetry, and I just love the written word, to be honest. The written word in a very like thought-provoking and artistically beautiful way. And I think that's why I love hip-hop and rap so much. And my first favorite poet was Tupac Shakur. So your person might be very artistically inclined. You both might like watching movies or watching plays together. You both may like write each other letters or like write each other very long texts that are very articulate and well put together. You're both obviously very clever people, but that may be something that poetic experiences have happened to you in your lives. You both have a lot of stories and a lot of, I think you both uncover with a lot of digging, a lot of different situations about each other come to light that shed so much in the way of backstory for you both that just helps you to understand each other. You've both gone through a lot, I think. Yeah, your lives, the way that you were brought up both wasn't very easy. So we have apocalypsis, and apocalypsis is like, it's like the end of times. It's like the worst that could happen. There's almost no escaping ruin. And that kind of sits over here at the beginning of the story, and I feel like it says more about what your person's been through than perhaps what you've been through. I almost think that you are kind of a beacon for them, like a little light source for them, something that brings them back to believing in the world again after having a really tough time. And apocalypse is kind of reminds me of, it really reminds me of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the amount of apocalypses they fought through, and it speaks to resilience, and it also speaks to like letting things turn into their next natural state. So while the process of crumbling societies are quite uncomfortable, you have to go through it to come out the other end. It's very transformative, and I feel like when you meet your person, they're going through an incredibly transformative stage, and they may be at the pessimistic end of that stage, and they might be acting a way that they wouldn't usually act if they hadn't been through the things that they had been through when they meet you. And it might get very dark, and you might have to pull them out of that darkness. It might be very difficult for you. It's something that you both have to work on, is not allowing yourself to fall back into that dark place. We also have the vow. The vow is like, the vow can be anything, but when it's in the context of a soulmate reading, for me, it's like the contract that you made with each other before you came into this life. It's enduring, it's all encompassing, and you make it again in this life. So you may get married, you make a commitment with each other, and you hold yourselves to that commitment. Like, you stay true to it, even in rough times when you think you don't want to. That commitment and that vow that you make is always there, and you choose to uphold it. And you choose to take care of each other. So the vow is quite a romantic promise that you make to each other to take care of each other. And I think coming out of apocalypse, it's this really caring for each other thing that it's like softens you both a little bit. We also have the underworld, which is another dark like a kind of dark world kind of energy. The underworld is, in Greek mythology, it is where Hades lives, and where he takes Persephone. In some instances he kidnaps her, in some instances she goes down there and she gets lost. Anyway, they go down there and they fall in love. The underworld is like the place where all the souls go to before they are moved to the next place, basically, where they're shuffled around. But basically when they move on, they go to this underworld. It's like you both go back to the darkness together, but you make it different. When you go back to the darkness now, you go together and you make it bloom. Like Persephone is the goddess of flowers and the springtime. When she goes to the underworld, for 6 months of the year it's autumn and winter, and when she comes back up it becomes spring and summer again. So she brings this element of like growth and abundance and flowering, blooming in the darkness. It's kind of what you both do. You go down together and you heal each other. You bloom within each other. You kind of twist through each other's rib cage like vines and make each other be brought back to life again. It's like you go through a lot of phases of dark, light. But after the vow, you're in it together, and it's almost like you rule the darkness now. When you get together, there's nothing that is more powerful than you both. So that's interesting. Let's have a look now at some channeled messages from your person, what they would say to you. I think it's going to be a little bit interesting because your person is such a character. They are when you meet them, you're going to be like, who is this person? Anyway, today we're using my Aphrodite oracle, which is available to buy on my website. We're also using the Aphrodite candle today. I always put this with my thumb on her. Anyway, here she is, trying not to ruin the flame. I haven't launched the Aphrodite candle yet because I just made like some prototypes of it and I was testing wax and colors. But I'm thinking I want to make some tomorrow or this week sometime, so I'm hoping to launch them soon. But this candle will be about true love, beauty and attraction, very Aphrodite vibes. Great on your altar, especially if you love Aphrodite the goddess, which how can you not? She's the goddess of love. That will be available for purchase soonish, I hope. Let's find out what your person will say. What would they say to you? Let's actually do one of these ones. I just feel like we need one of these ones. Yeah, you're like two people that go through a lot together and you vow to stay true to each other through many difficult things. So we have, I don't know if I can trust you in reverse. I feel like you get a good vibe about each other straight away and you kind of trust each other almost too easily. When you know that you kind of shouldn't, you automatically start thinking, this person's kind of like me. They're kind of like exactly like me, except for, why do they act like this? We have, there's nothing left for me here. That's your person's terrible situation that they come to when you meet them. I don't know what it is. It's probably different for a lot of you. It doesn't really give me a lot of like clarity around it. It just says that this person feels betrayed or like they went through complete ruin. They feel abandoned. They feel like they're lost a lot. We have see the light in others and treat them as if that's all you see. So this person sees the light in you, and I think that's also good advice when you meet each other because you kind of rub each other the wrong way. So if you can try to focus on the good things about each other before being unfairly critiquing, even if they're doing things that don't align with your core values and your beliefs around environmentalism or, you know, labor or things like that, give this person a little bit of a break. It seems like they've got a really good, like, maybe it's not very good, like might not be the best reason ever, but it seems like they have pathologized what they do or given themselves like, you know, a really righteous feeling of why they do these things, even if it's a little bit misguided and maybe it's a bit of retaliation. We have I am so tired in reverse, and I feel like when you meet your person, they have been through a lot. They may need you to be a source of energy and inspiration to them. We have I need more from you. Yeah, I think you both need more from each other in the way of backstories when you first begin. You need more compassion towards each other, and you kind of need a little bit more understanding. We have let's go on an adventure. Going and doing some, having holidays together, or escaping together, having your own little underworld somewhere. You might love traveling together. You both might be very adventurous people. We have when I'm with you, time goes too quickly. That was in reverse. I feel like when they're without you, time goes slow. And because they're not with you now, it feels like time is slow. We also have let's make out. So yeah, both find each other very attractive. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of making out. And we have I just want to say you're mine, you're mine. That's the song Mine by Beyonce and Drake. So that might be a song that you love. Maybe you should give that a listen. So now let's get some advice cards for you. What advice do you have for the Butterfly Collective? Please, Spirit. Wow, we have wedding. This situation involves marriage. Yeah, you got the vow. So I think, yeah, you guys probably maybe have a soul contract with each other, or a wedding vow. There's some kind of vow that you guys make to each other, even if it's not a, recognized by law. You have an understanding, or you have a deal that you make with each other. This is too much, so I'm going to take that. Okay, that's better. We also have reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Maybe it's someone from your past life returning to your life. But not sure. They could be someone that you already know. You might have already been through. It might be someone that's like an ex, if this sounds like a situation that you had with an ex. That definitely could be something that applies. Maybe for like 20% of you, not all of you, maybe 10% of you, maybe not many of you, but this could be an ex for some of you. It does make sense with the dark and light times that you have. What else, Spirit? What advice do you have for the Butterfly Collective, please? We have this card, and it says Sacred Union. Honor and treasure your relationship, for it is truly sacred. So yeah, honoring your vow, I think that's talking about making sure that you respect each other, respect the love that you have for each other, and honor each other, even in the dark times. Don't say terrible things to each other. We also have this one, which says, wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. So maybe you have like a long courting period together where you're just trying to get a handle on who each other is, who you are to each other, in each other's lives. It may be that you just like have a really long courting time, or you may be friends for a long time before you figure out that you even have something for each other in this way. But yeah, this is your reading, Butterfly Collective. I hope this was helpful for you in some way, shape or form. I hope this gave you a few tips or clues to figure out who this person is for you. And thank you so much for coming to my reading. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. and have a great day or night, whatever time it is where you are. Thanks for coming to my reading. Bye. Hi and welcome to Lulicat Tarot. I am Leisha, aka Lulicat, and this is my free tarot channel on YouTube. If you chose Goddess, this is going to be your reading on where is your soulmate. So we're going to start off with oracle cards. We're also going to get some tarot cards in at some point. We're going to do channeled messages and then get advice for everyone. So yeah, let's begin. So we're starting off with how you can recognize each other with these archetype cards. So with these cards, we're going to look at what characteristics your person is going to be displaying when you meet them so that you can recognize them. And then we'll have a look at how you are going to be presenting so that they can recognize you. So let's have a look for the Goddess Collective Spirit. How are their soulmate? What characteristics are their soulmate going to be displaying? Okay, we have God in the upright, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. So this is someone who is very loving and compassionate. Someone who is very kind in nature, depending on, I guess, the kind of gods that you believe in. But I'm kind of taking into account this card was looking at me before, but the kind of God that is like the universe, you know, the universe moving the world through, very deliberate, very understanding, very helpful, passionate person. We also have Samaritan, refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. So this is someone who definitely helps a lot of people. They might be in a caring industry of some description. They may be in a charity, not-for-profit organization. They may be someone who, you know, they might be someone who is an attorney for those who can't, you know, a government-provided lawyer, someone who helps those who are in a position of vulnerability. Very caring person. Let's get one more characteristic for how you will know your person. Okay, we have mediator in the reverse. And this says, negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. So, when you meet them, they're going to do something that you think is slightly selfish or self-serving. Like, majority of what they do is going to be very kind, caring, compassionate, that kind of thing. But you're going to twig onto something that you see is personally motivated. Like maybe, you know, they ask you out or something while you're in a position where, I don't know, or they might try and be around you. You know, it might be someone that you work with, and you might find that they do little things to hang around with you a little bit more. Something that is a little bit showing their personal motivation and even their motivation towards you. So let's see. We have Judge, in the back of the deck. So this definitely could be someone in a legal profession. Let's have a look at how you're presenting when you meet your person. What characteristics will they know you by when they meet you? Avenger. This says, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. How interesting. We've just been talking about so much legal things, and we're talking about justice now. So you might be someone who's not necessarily like, you know, law enforcement or like someone related to the legal field, but you might do things in your own way that are a little bit outside of the norm. Like you may be someone who protests, or you may like organize certain things to make political statements, or you may just be one like some kind of neighborhood person who takes care of the community and has no fear in confrontation or fighting for yourself or for others. You're going to be presenting like this when they meet you. You're going to be like a little bit of a wild card to them. They're going to be like, what is this person is a little bit crazy. Like it's almost, you seem not unhinged, but you certainly do not care about things like the rules and the laws. You care about personal justice, your idea of what justice is. You know, for example, I don't know, there may be some kind of dispute happening in your area, and you may take things into your own hands. Like someone may steal someone's bike and you may figure out who's got it and just go steal it back. Like you're that kind of person. You don't care about what the law says. You care about what your morals say, what you think is right. So we also have gambler in the upright for you. Light attribute, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. Yeah, that's interesting. You're a very intuitive person. You're on the money with a lot of things. Like not a lot gets by you. Even if some people like are giving you, like this person gives you, right? They give you the perfect character. Like they're trying to give you the best show of themselves, but you can pinpoint that one thing that they do that shows that they have a little bit lack of integrity in some area. Somehow you always pick this thing up straight away. When it comes to people, you read them like a book. All people, not just your person, but you have a very keen sense of people's ulterior motives. You might be someone who has a very activated crown chakra. So when you meet people, you just kind of know things about them. Like the things that they don't want people to know, you know, because it just comes through your crown chakra straight away. You may be claircognizant. This is crazy. They have God and you've got Messiah in the upright position. You are like something else. You are not the regular person. Like who are you, Goddess Collective? I guess you are the goddess, so this person must be a divine counterpart as well. Like God and goddess type connection here. This person can't help but be drawn to you and do little things to get you. And this is like you're their weakness. So Messiah says, serving humanity with humility. So you're just like them, but you're a little bit trickier. Like they're somewhat, you know, every now and then they might do something for themselves because, you know, they do a lot for other people. They think in their head, I'm going to do this for myself every now and then, you know, why not? If I do all this stuff for everyone else, why can't I? And you're just like this, like you're also a very helpful, loving, caring person, but you've got this rebellious streak in you where you just don't care about society's rules or laws or anything like that. You just don't care. You're going to do it your way, and actually it's the right way. Like, the world would do well to be run by someone like you. Like, your person will take a lot from you, your guidance. You've got the ability to keep them on the straight and narrow. Without you around, they can fall into this area where they do things for, you know, selfish reasons every now and then. But when you're in it, you pull them straight into line, type of thing. Let's have a look now at what's going to be going on in your lives when you meet each other. What's happening? Where are you at? What's the situation? What's going down? We have karmic third party in the reverse. Differences in the upright. This says physical differences at odds, resolving an issue. What you think will pull you apart will pull you together. Change is on the horizon, and outside opinions don't matter. Yeah. So I feel like you're both leaving karmic relationships, karmic situations, or karmic cycles. You're getting over them. You've learned from them. You've actually come a long way in your healing and your learning, both of you. You've come a little bit further, I think, because you're in all uprights. This is why I say this. And they still have like a little bit of work to do. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, they can tighten up. They could tighten up a bit. When you meet each other, you might be completely different, like different looks, different like worlds, different cultures, but there is something about that correlates, that translates well with each other. You have similar characteristics, and you have similar strengths and understanding of like compassion and kindness. You both have a real care about others and how others are treated, which makes me think you've both been treated poorly, and that's why you understand how important it is to treat people kindly and with respect. We have vivid dreams in reverse. You might be having crazy dreams and then you forget them, but you might also be appearing in each other's dreams, especially when you first meet each other. You might have strange dreams about each other when you don't really know each other that well yet. And you might wonder to yourself, like, why is this person in my dream? You might also like not even know if you like this person in that way until you have this dream, and it makes you like think of them differently. We have spiritual cleanse in the upright. So I definitely think you've both been cleansing yourselves of bad habits, bad behaviors, toxic people in your lives. You may be like leaving a lot of like friendship groups behind, or relationships with people that was, you know, they weren't really serving, they weren't really reciprocal. That might be something that you might just be going through a time in your life where you've realized the parts of your world that aren't for you anymore, and you're taking steps to spiritually realign yourself with like a happier world for yourself. And this is why you're both so kind and giving and compassionate. But you also have a bit of fight in you, where you like to here we have it right here coming out in alpha female. It doesn't mean you're the female. You could be male, you could be non-binary, but there's this powerful part of either you or both of you. But I think you've got this Avenger gambler characteristic where you just go and take something. If you think something's not right, you go and change it. You're very much not someone who waits for a reaction. You go and take that action. You're not waiting on anyone. If you think something's out of line, you're gonna fix it yourself. Like for you, cops, government, blah blah blah, none of that stuff is either effective or gets the right result for you. You're happy to take charge yourself. And you're an intimidating person to people, and you're only for the right kind of person. You need a very strong partner, and this person is the strong person that you need. What else, Spirit? When they come across you, they're pretty much shocked. You're like, you blow them out of the water. They're absolutely blown away when they meet you. Like, who is this? Like they've seen you walk into like a meeting room or something, and you're at their work, and you come in and you say, like, you yell at someone through the door, and you're like, hey, blah blah blah, don't do that thing, whatever, and then walk off, and they're like, who was that? Who is that person? And then they just keep seeing you around places, just doing crazy stuff, like, you know, manic pixie dream girl stuff. Just every now and then they'll just see you do some crazy thing. What else do we have here? We have your intuition is correct and sweeping shit under the rug. So I think, yeah, your intuition is like on point to the T, like everything in alignment. You know what's going on. You're all over it. And sweeping shit under the rug, I think maybe this person that you meet, a little bit of this kind of doing maybe not sneaky things, but just like things that work in their favor a little bit. You kind of catch them doing that when you meet them. So it makes you a little bit like, what is this person's deal? Like, what are they up to? Are they actually good, or like are they just pretending? So you're a little bit wary at the start. Now we're going to get some tarot, and we're going to drill down a bit deeper as to what the situation is at the time when you meet, like what's going on. We have the World, and we have Two of Cups. It's like you've leveled up, and you're now meeting a different genre of people. Back of the deck is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So you've released a lot of unhealthy attachments and connections, though, that are no longer serving you to keep close. There's definitely, you're on a different stage, world stage now. You're getting a lot more visibility on yourself, like people notice you where you are. You get like, maybe you're someone who has like internet presence, or you might be someone who has a lot of followers or has some kind of online presence, but there's this factor of you and your person being very seen and very known, very like, not like, maybe not famous, but like you're well known in your areas. And there's also this element of like your connections with people are better now. Like you can think on your life 10 years ago, and the people that you were meeting back then, you're like, you wouldn't hang out with those people now. It's like you've leveled up to a different ball game of human beings coming into your vibration field now because of who you've become. People who couldn't align with that, people who couldn't align with that can't come to you now. They can't reach you because you've climbed too high, your vibration's too high. And we've got also the Nine of Wands here. So Nine of Wands is telling me that you've both been through a lot spiritually, or like you've had a long road that you've traveled, that you've had to fight against a lot of different either events or people or things. Like you've been, you know, you've been hit, you've been hurt, and you've gotten up every single time. There is a certain resilience that you have. There's a certain not giving up thing. Like you're never going to give up kind of thing. And you're also guarded. You're guarded from the wrong kinds of people now. You kind of identify them straight away now. Yeah, we have the Four of Pentacles coming out now for you. Just talking about releasing energy that no longer serves you. We have the Two of Swords, and I think this is about your crown chakra being so illuminated. You might be someone who, like, you might identify as having claircognizance or clairvoyance. In one of the clairs, you might just get dreams that are downloads for you. For you, it's not very hard for you to take a look at a situation or a circumstance and see straight through it. So you find it very easy to cull people from your life who may not have the right energy or the right intentions. Yeah, we have the Ten of Cups in reverse and the Six of Cups in the upright. So I feel like you had a very loosely put together, like either family unit or friendship circle that you had to kind of release because they were more of a drain on your energy than helpful. We also have the Six of Cups here. So maybe one or both of you have children, but this also could just mean that you kept your innocent love for the world or for others despite having gone through many, it feels like, false friendships. You still stayed pure kind of thing. It's also like you're a sweetheart, I think. I just was asking like where you both are, but maybe you both have gone through similar situations where you've had to let go of people who just weren't right for you. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. These are people that like left you by yourself, abandoned you when you needed help, when you were sick, or when you needed a friend. They left you in the lurch kind of thing, and then maybe even came back later and tried to be a part of your world again, and you've been a little bit guarded. One or both of you you might both have been through something similar in this way, where you just had to refine and remove people that weren't serving you, and that may be why this person is serving themselves a little bit more now. They've recognized that they have allowed others to put their needs on the back burner, and so they're making a concerted effort to put their needs on the forefront in the way that they move now. We have the Devil in reverse here, so it's like releasing toxic connections and partners, toxic bonds, people who was easy to stick around with, but it was also detrimental to their soul. Like they felt unloved. It was easy to hang out with them, but they just felt depleted every time that they were around them. So now let's have a look at what kind of lessons you're going to be going through together in your life when you finally get together. What kind of lessons, or like what kind of journey will you be on together when you come to find each other? I'm just going to take the first one. Wow, it says the King. Oh my goodness. You have the God, the Goddess, the Messiah, and now you have the King. Let's see what else. Anima Mundi. And let's get one more. We have the Kiss. On the back of the deck we have the unseen. I just want to look quickly and refresh my memory about Anima Mundi. Yeah, this, I remember this. Accept all and reject none. Shared consciousness. Alright, cool. So I feel like when you both meet, I mean, I think we got, did we get the royalty card as well? That might have been a different group. Yeah. I think when you meet, you see in each other a certain element of light. And you also hold for each other. You also hold for each other this respect, this deep respect. The king is someone that people swear an oath to. They swear to uphold the laws of the land that this king has set, or they swear a fealty to the king. And they go off to certain lands and areas and bring back, you know, all kinds of treasures. It's like seeing in each other when you first meet a need to uphold each other's respect and boundaries, and honor each other. Like there is this recognition of the light that you both hold is very different from other people that you know who may not have the same kind of internal integrity or care for morals or justice or kindness. This is something that you both recognize in each other, and it kind of also allows you to uphold it for yourself as well. And what you kind of create together is like, it's almost like a foundation of, or like it's like the living reality of how you think the perfect life, the perfect world could be. The royal life, the royal godly way of it, the best way to be, almost. It's like you both have a keen desire to uplift those around you, to help people, to, like, the king reminds me of the emperor or the empress. They're people who take care of a lot of other people. It's not just about them and their, you know, their descendants and their line of, you know, who's the next in line for the throne kind of thing. It's also about the wider realm and the people that they take actions for and look after and take care of. So I think in some way doing that kind of work together is going to be like something that inspires others as well to take, like, you may find yourselves creating something large, creating something huge that a lot of other people come together for. It also kind of leads into this Anima Mundi card, which is like everything is acceptable, everything is how it should be, everything is perfect as it is. Like we take everyone in, we'll accept everything. It's almost like you kind of like your good Samaritan kind of, I don't know, like it's almost like you live in an apocalyptic world where you guys kind of have some like area where you take care of people, or I don't know, maybe you have like a charity or something, but you do good works together and you do good works for everyone, not just yourselves, but there's a lot of people that that you help, but you also help in a way where you both like kind of accept everything that comes at you with a general ease. Like you understand that there are going to be hard times and good times, but you both uphold each other through these good and bad times. And it's almost like whatever happens doesn't really matter, we're going to deal with it. It's like a really surrendering to everything that comes as it is, and never really worrying about anything because you have nothing to worry about. It's like you get very enlightened at some point, around the middle maybe of your relationship. You're just very happy, and the way that you present to the world and the way that you present for the world is like, it's so uplifting and helpful to everyone around you, and very inspiring. And yeah, I just feel like you guys might make some kind of movement or something, like you're coming out as people who are very spiritually intact and very actively like helpful and compassionate and understanding. I wouldn't be surprised if you end up being thought leaders, you know, in the future, or people who stand up, you know, stand up for great causes. You could be like, you could be fighting in rebellion somewhere in, you know, some countries that governments are trying to do horrible things to the people. Like this is the kind of avenging thing that you two would both do together. I can see you in, you know, doing crazy under the cover of darkness, you know, kind of saboteur type things against all kinds of political organizations. We also have the kiss over here as well, so it's like just a very sweet, the kiss is like a promise, you know, it's like, but it's also a very innocent, sweet way of showing your love. Like I think you'll always have a sweet and loving connection. I especially think your person has just the biggest soft spot for you, and will always be doing very kind and loving things, you know, doing their best to make you happy, always holding your hand, always upholding what you think. This person just seems very kind and generous, and you seem to be the little spitfire that makes things happen. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, but also a very sweet connection where you're helping each other and helping yourselves along the way. So let's have a look at what your person would say to you. We're using my Aphrodite Oracle. You can buy this on my website. I'm also using the Aphrodite candle today. So can't really see how it was when it first started, but it had this beautiful cloud of wax with like turrets of, well, they're going to be like pink wax love hearts and like, you know, all types of glittery assortments on the top. But anyway, I'm hoping to make more of those this week, depending on my energy levels. I've been in a really high, I don't know, what would you say? It's a very busy time for the last 6 months. So yeah, my energy levels, I've been trying to take it easy a little bit this weekend, but eventually I will turn into another candle making manic episode, and I hope to make some more Aphrodites and launch her properly soon. So we have Can We Start Over in reverse, and like I think that's when you first start off, when you meet each other and they do something and you're like, remember when you did that thing? That was kind of weird that you did that thing. You know, it wasn't very cool that you did that thing. And I think they're in the energy of like, oh, can we try again, because I didn't mean to act like that. We also have I Feel So Anxious About Us. So that's interesting. Not sure what that means. Goddess Collective, what is their person? What would they say to them? I'm too afraid to talk to you. I can't make up my mind and I feel you in my soul. Yeah, I feel like you're very intimidating to this person when they first meet you. They almost can't believe it when they do like capture your heart at some point. You definitely feel each other in each other's soul when you first meet each other, but you don't really know where you stand with each other. We also have, I'm wishing for a happy ending with you. What else would they say to their person? I feel at peace with you. Yeah, I really feel like you both have a really sweet, soft affection for each other. You're just always on the same page and you're very sweet on each other. You're one of those couples that will probably always unconsciously be showing public displays of affection without realizing. We can do whatever we want together. And I think that you probably will do amazing things together. Like, you have the capacity to do so much. You're both very strong, amazing people. And that's why you really connect with each other so well when you finally do connect. Now let's get some advice for you. Finally, let's get some advice. And this is from the Doreen Virtue Romance Angels deck. What advice for the Goddess Collective? We have flirt. Extend your light-hearted energy to others. Yeah, I feel like maybe when you meet this person, sometimes you can take things a little bit too seriously. Maybe taking a step back and being a little bit more flirty would make this person approach you a lot easier, or, you know, your relationship start off a lot easier. Not everything has to be about the best, most you know, justice fighting way of the world. Sometimes we can laugh and have fun as well as fight for justice and glory. So, I mean, I don't think we fight for glory, but be a little bit lighthearted with each other. We also have worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So you may have waited a long time for each other when you finally do meet, but when you get together, it's like it's all on and it's all perfect and it's all easy. Back of the deck we have, let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others. So in the reading, we're kind of getting a vibe that maybe your friendship circle or that wasn't very strong at the time when you meet this person, and it's kind of saying that there are people around you that would help you if you got out of your head maybe and asked people for help. I don't know, I'm getting a little bit of Capricorn vibes from you, a little bit Aquarius Capricorn vibes of someone who's very self-sufficient. Maybe someone who's been through their Saturn return and is come down a little bit hardened at the end of it. That may not resonate for you. But yeah, you could be someone who struggles to ask for help. And maybe this person is someone who you'll be able to rely on. What other advice do we have for the Goddess Collective? Please, Spirit. Okay, we have this one, and it says, romance, Cupid's arrow strikes. Yeah, I feel like when it's on with you guys, it's on. It's like it's off for a while you figure each other out, and then when it's on, and it just starts. And we also have this one, and it says, friendship, nurture the bonds of friendship within your relationship, and your love life will dramatically improve. Maybe you guys start off as friends. There's a lot of friends cards here. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful for you, Goddess Collective. It does sound like you're going to have a partner that's going to be your best friend as well as your lover. It does seem like they get a little bit anxious around you at the start, so maybe just lighten it up, be a little bit friendlier, be a little bit more open, and less avengery. Like, you can always get to that point with your friends, you know, later. You don't have to lead with avenging. You can always just leave avenging to maybe the second thing that you talk about. But anyway, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for coming to my reading. I hope you have a great day or night, whatever time it is where you are. And if you did like this reading, please like and subscribe. And yeah, thank you so much again. Have a great day. Bye.